Welcome to 1604 Anderson Avenue. I'll begin by talking a little bit about the neighborhood. Most of the houses on this street are single-family, owner-occupied homes. The only reason that my 4-unit rental exists as it does is because it's been what it is since the early 1950s, and it's grandfathered in from a zoning standpoint. If the house were to ever burn or whatever, it would have to be rebuilt as a single-family residence. So consequently, the neighborhood is quite quiet. The only time that things ever get a little raucous are on football Saturdays. Down on the corner where the blue awning is a place called Fraser's Pub, and that's a popular spot for football fans to go to before and after the football games. So the street will often be filled with cars belonging to football fans that are down at the corner partying. The house itself, the first floor has an apartment on each side of the front door. They are identical mirror image. Well, they're not identical, but they're mirror image efficiency units. The second floor is a 2-bedroom apartment that is currently occupied by a single individual. And then the third floor is a 1-bedroom apartment that's occupied by a single person. So, let's go inside the house now. This is the common area foyer, and for what it's worth, this house actually used to sit in a different part of Ann Arbor. It was originally built in downtown, and in the early 1950s it was loaded on the back of a truck and moved to its current location. Those steps go upstairs. Yeah, I don't know, this is the foyer. We'll go to the basement after I show you the apartment. Okay, so apartment number 2. The current occupant of this apartment is an artist, and she lives quite simply with regard to furnishings and the number of furnishings and that sort of thing. So she's got sort of a twin size bed there, and her mouthy cat. Meow. The ceilings, I don't know, I would guess they're probably about 8.5 feet. The front windows face north, so they don't get direct sunlight coming in, but they do let in a fair amount of light. And then the side window faces east, so it gets decent morning light. The drapery and the rods belong to the apartment. If for some reason you can't stand the drapes, you are welcome to put up what you like, but hang on to these so that I have something to put up for the next person. Let me think. The thermostat, so there's one furnace for this house. The thermostat is located across the hall in the other efficiency. I put it over there because that efficiency tends to run cool. And my rationale is if the thermostat is set at 70, certainly the rest of the house is not going to want for heat. And because this apartment, the furnace is basically right underneath your feet in the basement, and hot air rises, so this apartment tends to run a little warm. But, you know, it's not insanely so. Kitchen has ceramic tile. This stainless steel table belongs to the apartment. It serves as a decent countertop because there's not a whole lot of countertop where the sink and stove area is located. You know, I think there's ample cabinet space here for one person. And then there's another cabinet above the refrigerator over there. Alright, so that's the kitchen. Then you walk from the kitchen through this closet. You walk through the closet to get to the bathroom. The closet has hanging space, and then there's like a shelf, and then there's more hanging space beneath the shelf, but she's got these drawer things located there. And then on this side it's set up so that if you had like a long coat or gown or whatever, it would be able to hang in here without interfering with the other arrangement. The bathroom. Cabinet for toiletry storage. Medicine cabinet. Those windows do open if you want to let fresh air in. And then there are some hooks there for miscellaneous stuff to hang from. Sort of a smallish, I don't know, I guess what I would call an efficiency size refrigerator. That window faces south, so you get lots of sunlight in there. And I think that pretty much covers the apartment. So let me take you downstairs and show you the basement, which offers some additional storage. This door belongs to the apartment that you just saw. It locks, and within it is space for some additional storage. Now, because we are in a basement, I would not store your fine cashmere sweater collection in there, because in the summer it will get basement-y down here. There's some additional room here for stuff. This is a little out of hand. If I got inspected tomorrow by the city, I'm quite certain they would tell me that this needs to be cleared out, because it's just, I don't know, they're particular about things and fire hazards and whatnot. These are the circuit breakers. One of those belongs to the apartment that you just saw. These chairs go out in the yard. In fact, I may put them out there tomorrow as the weather gets nice. And then behind this door is the laundry. It's on a motion light, so as I walk in, it illuminates. It's just a regular washing machine. The dryer is $1 for 45 minutes of drying time. There is a clothesline in the backyard. So in the summertime, if you want to be thrifty and hang your clothes on the line, that's an option. laundry table. So the utilities, I pay for the heat. I pay for this furnace here. Each apartment has its own water heater. The one on the right there belongs to the apartment you just saw. So your gas bill would include paying for that water heater as well as your stove. And then you would pay for your own electricity, for the lights in the apartment, the outlets. I think that the average utility cost on those apartments, the efficiencies are about 45 or 50 bucks a month. Okay, so that's the basement. I'll show you the backyard. Those chairs you just saw, they surround this table during the summer months. There are 3 parking spaces back here. The silver car that you see over there, that space belongs to the apartment you just saw. So there is off-street parking. If you have guests over, they can park out on the street. This gray building is what I call the bicycle garage. If you have a bicycle, there's room for 1 bicycle per person in the house. The people who use their bikes regularly, well, let me put it this way. I ask people that don't ride their bikes regularly to put them on the top rack so that the people that do ride on a regular basis can more easily access their bike on the lower level. We fit 6 bikes in here. I live next door, so if something goes awry, I'm next door to dash over and fix whatever goes awry. The trash, the tenants are responsible for wheeling these things out to the curb. The trash pickup day is Tuesday morning, so I just ask that, you know, if you're going to work or class or usually coming home Monday night, wheel these things out to the curb. And then at some point on Tuesday, I ask that people wheel them back. And there's no, you know, it just, whoever happens to see them out there and wheel them in or wheel them out, please do so. And historically, the people that live in the house are responsible enough to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I think that about covers it. This building next door, there's a Mexican restaurant in there that's pretty decent. There's some other small businesses, but I can't imagine that they're anything my tenants would care about other than maybe the restaurant. There's the bar that I mentioned down on the corner. There's a Chinese restaurant across the street from it. The number 5 bus picks up down there. It's kind of hard for me to see my screen, but I can see the sign for the bus pickup. So if you're going to U of M, it's a convenient way to get downtown. Or ride a bike if you have a bike. I think that covers it. If you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to call me.